been chasing for years.
Stop. Don't want to hear something to anyone. It's Convo Time. This is the show where we talk about anything and everything that has to do with young adults. I'm your host, Loretta. Woo! You got it right this time! Woo, woo, woo! Only Ronke is my friend. She's the only one that likes me.
Yeah.
Ronke, baby girl, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, beautiful?
Why you start talking? Because I said Ronke is my friend.
What now?
I didn't know we had the job of cheerleader. Like, we didn't get the club about.
When I started telling people what my name is, you have to respond with, yes, that's our girl.
Woo!
That's our girl.
Woo! That's so fake.
That's serious.
You know we are real friends as
in.
Identify with your people.
Oh, okay.
Those stats.
Keep it like that.
How you doing, Toaster?
Good. Can't complain. Keeping it real. This whole identity thing is actually a big thing. It was when I was with my mom and we were at my brother's school and there was a Nigerian kid, and she goes, "Oh, hey, where you from?" And the kid goes, "I'm Irish."
Answer.
And my mom goes, "Yeah, but where are you really from?" And he goes, "Oh, my parents are Nigerian." And I used to always tell my mom that, listen, these kids, that's how it is.
I'm Irish, my parents are Nigerian.
But that's what it is. He's Irish in his brain. He's not lying to you. No, there's a Nigerian part of him. It's in his blood. But you can't expect him to identify first as a Nigerian and then second as an Irish. He's Irish. Everything about him is Irish.
I know not everything about him is Irish.
Everything about him is Irish.
Where he was born and where he lives is Irish, but his blood, like you rightly said, which is what makes him him, is Nigerian.
Yeah, his blood is what makes him biologically, but socially and
yeah, but he cannot deny being Nigerian.
If he doesn't feel like he is,
he's not denying it. He's just
not self-identifying.
Yeah, he's not denying it. Like the guy would tell you, "I eat jollof rice," but he wouldn't say, "Oh, what's that?"
At least he's claiming, because I know people that will literally be like, "Oh, a Nigerian person coming to ask me, oh, do you speak Nigerian?"
Yeah.
Why from? They go, "Oh, are you from Nigeria? I'm from Nigeria too. Do you speak Nigerian?" I'm like, F off.
Yeah, I totally agree with that one.
What's Nigerian? No, do you speak Nigerian?
You know what I identify?
Do you speak Nigerian?
I like that question.
I don't speak Nigerian.
I like that question, right? And what I've come to realize is people who ask that question, the problem is they want to identify as someone of the Western world that has no knowledge of that country. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but you can't say to me, come to me and go, "I'm Nigerian too. Do you speak Nigerian?"
See, they're just what they're trying to do is, "Oh, you're Nigerian. Oh yeah, I've got to be a Nigerian in me." Do you know what I mean? But I'm not 100%. Do you know what I mean?
It's kind of like Americans be like, "Oh yeah, I'm like 2% Irish," and it's like
we're cool for that 2 minutes of being Nigerian.
I'm cool for that 15 minutes of fame of being Nigerian.
Yeah, that's what. I know of a situation whereby that happened recently. So at the World Cup, France won the World Cup, and there was a lot of memes saying actually Africa won the World Cup because they were all from Africa, and most of their parents were African, and someone on the press who was famous said, "No, that's wrong. That only 2 of them were born in Africa.
Yeah. That
they are French people." And then everyone started to put up that question. But when they commit a crime, you don't want to label them as a Frenchman. Definitely. You will tell them a French guy of this origin. And that, for me, is where I feel like at some point, no matter what, when you feel like, "Oh, I'm Irish, I'm this," you're going to meet someone in life who's going to and that's why I think you said that it depends on the tone.
Yeah. And what it is when people ask you where you're from, they're asking you to self-identify, right? When your self-identification doesn't match what their presumed assumption of what you should identify is, that's what they'll ask you again. But where are you really from? And I just told you. Yeah. And I feel like it's a level of laziness because what they expect is expectations versus reality. They're not adding up. So instead of them to stop, take a look at both pictures and say, "Oh, okay," they're like, "No, I have to make it fit. Do you know what I mean? And that's why I get frustrated. Now, when I say the tone, it's when a person's like, "Oh, okay," but obviously, like, you know, it looks like
I wouldn't lie. I've done it too. I've done it too.
You have a background that isn't from like hardcore Cork.
Cork.
Do you know what I mean? Like North side.
Yeah.
So when they ask, just out of curiosity, I'm like, oh well, I was born in Nigeria, do you know, and I can have the conversation. But I listen for the tone. If I'm hearing, but where you're really from, I'm like, really from Cork. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. When I get asked that question, for me is, I'm proud to say that I'm Nigerian, so I will tell you that, oh, I'm from Nigeria.
Yeah.
Like, I'm originally from Nigeria, but I grew up most of my life in Ireland.
For me, it's
just about, like,
I wouldn't lie. I've done what Aya has done as well, and I listen out for the tone, because I've had people come to me and be like, Nigerians especially, even, because they want to know who your father is, who your mother is, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when somebody comes to me and asks, oh, how are you, my dear? Where are you from? And I'm like, Navan. Like, are you not a Nigerian girl? I'm like, yeah, you asked me where I'm from. Navan. Who's your mother? I'm like,
I feel like that question is so that they can demand a
certain respect from
exactly. Because if you're not Nigerian, they wouldn't demand the same type of respect. And like that, I'm just like, cool story, bro. Next.
You mentioned something earlier. You spoke about your younger sister.
Oh yeah.
What was, like, explain that again. Like.
Okay, so when my sister Joy, she was like 2 years old. She was outside playing with her friends, and she just came home crying. And my mom was like, "What is wrong? Like, what happened?" And she was like, "Mom, my friends, they said I'm not Irish." And my mom's like, "But you are." She was like, "But they said I'm not Irish. They said I don't look like an Irish person." My mom like got her birth certificate, and she was like, "You're born here, you're Irish, but you have to remember that you're also Nigerian." And I think it was an awakening for her that, yo, I'm black, I'm Dudu, I'm Nigerian. Like, at that time she hadn't realized that.
How old was she though?
She was 2.
Like,
not 2, sorry, 3. Like, not, was it?
Probably
she was young enough.
She was young. I can't remember exactly, but she was young enough to, like, just realize now that, yo, there's something different about me, that I'm not fully Irish, like, I'm not Irish.
Yeah.
See, no, I like that whole idea whereby then you can question it.
Yeah.
Because you have times where people be like, why do you have to let a kid know from when they're born that, listen, you're different? Why can't that kid just be normal? So you know what I mean? And they have people who would say, well, maybe if your mom had let your sister know from day one that, yo, listen, you're different, she wouldn't be that upset. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there are two sides to it. But for me, I believe that no matter what, I'd rather have a kid who knows a little bit of their background than have a kid who goes, you know, I actually don't know. I've met grown-up guys like me who would literally just go, I think I'm Caribbean, but they don't know.
I think I'm Caribbean.
Yeah, but there's loads of people who would tell you, I think. Because probably the parents, like, I know of a lady who's black. She has 3 black kids, which is married to a white man, and then she has 3 girls, 3 daughters, and she's literally, she tells them she doesn't want them to have anything to do with Africans, either male or female. Yeah, she literally tells them, like, listen.
Why?
Like, I don't know.
That is the stupidest thing I've heard in it.
I wouldn't want you to say that. Because there are scenarios where some people hold on to hurt. Actually, there's an Irish celebrity who's mixed. And I think her dad was African. Samantha Mumbai. She had issues with Africans because she felt like her dad was so strict on her. Things like that happen. So do you get what I'm saying? There's always a backstory behind certain things. It's just what I will feel is like, I just feel bad for the girls because they would probably have kids who would be mixed at some point. But you'd ask them, so where are you from? I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't get that. Because like, I get what you're saying about her having reasons to do it, but
I'm not saying it's right though.
No, I'm not saying that it's right. I get you're not saying it's right, but I still feel that. Then again, it's her prerogative to do what she wants with her kids. But when you think about it in hindsight, are you really gonna put your hurt on your kids? If you're saying there's a reason for the story, more reason why you need to make sure your kids understand. This is what it is.
I don't think that's a fair I suppose demand to make of somebody, because if they feel hurt they know what has caused the pain and they feel like they're protecting their children.
Yeah.
So it's not, and if they've been hurt,
that's why I said everybody has a right to raise their kids in whatever way they want. Like obviously, I'm not going to want anybody to come to me and say, "Oh, this is how you should be training your son."
Yeah. Like I don't agree with that way of raising, but I can completely understand, because if you've been hurt by something, if there's a blade on a table, do you know what? There's no blade on the table, but you're walking into a room and you get caught. However it happens, you're not going to let your kid walk into that same room. Do you know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Even if it's not you that's like causing it in any way.
So how are they supposed to identify with being an African then?
They will identify it. Well, it depends. They might. You ever meet people who they're lost and then they're so down to earth,
soul searching.
But yeah, like they'll even go to Africa, go and do charity work, and they'll go to places that you're even more African.
Actually, I was kind of seeing a guy who was.
Who are you there, okay?
I was seeing a guy who was mixed race.
Oh.
And basically, this was college, and he was just trying to go back to his roots because his dad had died in this instance. So all he knew was his Irish roots.
Okay.
And he was like, I want to embrace my Nigerian roots. And he went to a lot of like African society things and just always asking questions. And
that's really good.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm just coming back to this whole stopping your kids from associating with Africans and stuff. And I'm like, so what happens if they decide when they start going to school and stuff? Obviously, she's not gonna find a school that's like all white people.
She didn't find a school, but she took them away from the community. You can actually try to exclude your kids, and you would.
I know, but I'm even looking at the aspect of when they because obviously the kids these days are curious about everything. It's no longer back in the generation where you can't ask a question because you don't know what your parents are going to say or whatever. All kids are curious.
They will ask you.
My brothers ask me
and you need answers.
You need the answers. So what happens when these kids go, "Oh, mom, they're not going to realize that they're not black." Like they look at their skin and like, I'm different from these people, but they've never associated with people that are the same color as them.
At the same time, children are like sponges. I know it sounds so cliche, but they do absorb what's in their environment. I'm not saying that they won't become curious, but for the most part, what she's teaching them will stick. Even the Bible says, train up a child in the way they should go. When it grows up, they will not depart from it. No matter what you teach them, when they grow up, they will not depart from a certain part of it.
I know, but I'm saying what my question is what happens when they start questioning all of that? Will she now say don't question because she's not going to give them the answer?
Then. I don't know. I can't speak for her. It's a problem then.
Actually, girls like that would end up believing that they're probably better than black people, or they would say, I don't necessarily myself.
Hold on to that thought. I really want to get at because I want to pinpoint on that. We'll be right back after the break. Stop it. Welcome back to ConvoTime. So before the break, we were talking about identifying with your identity. Picking, for the most part, trying to decide, are you Nigerian? And when you're growing up in diaspora, are you where you're growing up? Are you the country of your citizenship? Or are you nationally Nigerian? And you were saying about a woman that has excluded her children from associating with African people. I questioned, what if they want to find out more? Now you're saying they might grow up being that feeling better.
Yeah, it happens.
How does that make sense? Because there's so many topics you can bring out of that. But if you're saying they're going to end up growing up, which is very true, they could end up feeling like they're a lot better than a lot of people because of the fact that they never associated with African people. But does that mean that they're not going to be better than African people?
I'm not saying that it means that they're actually going to be better. Don't get me wrong. But in their mindset, like, I know of people who would be friends with Western people who might be racist. And they would tell them, their friends who are white will tell them, I don't like black people, but Sean's a different type of black person. He's just different. Like, he's not from there. Do you know what I mean? And Sean would totally believe that, yes, I'm different. And he would live his life honestly thinking he's better than a normal black guy because he'd be like, well, they see me different. So I'm totally different. Like, it does happen. And you would see people...
That is some messed up confusion right there. I'm sorry. Do you not think that, like, that confuses somebody's... Maybe they don't realize that they're confused, but it is confused.
But is confusion not, like, in an internal, like... an internal state. So if a person doesn't feel confused, are they confused?
I am confused about the fact that you're not confused.
But the confusion is on you. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, you know what?
It's too much confusion.
Speaking of confusion, right? Now this is a little bit of a plot twist, right? Recently I heard of a job opportunity that came up, and basically it involved people of Yoruba tribe. They needed Yoruba people who to work in that field, and you had to be able to speak and read and write Yoruba.
Yeah.
And I knew people who would go, I'm a full Yoruba, and they failed the exam.
Lol.
Wow.
I would fail the exam.
Do you know-
I'm not
you
really
see-
supposed
yeah,
So when it comes down to that whole idea of how Nigerian are you, how do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that person would be like, oh, you're really Nigerian, but how come you failed?
But have you ever felt like, I feel like there's certain situations where people pick and choose what they want to be in a certain situation. So maybe they decided, oh, I'm going to be a full Nigerian because I want to do this test. Whereas if they were saying, oh, Nigerians are not, Nigerians are, because we want to see corrupt people we want to see Nigerians here because we believe Nigerians are corrupt. So let's come and do a survey on corrupt Nigerians. They're not going to show face because they'll be like, no, I'm not Nigerian.
Yeah,
No, but
sure.
that's because you've linked it to corruption. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a negative association.
Okay, maybe not a good example,
so
but
going to show up for that.
but that's a bad example of of picking and choosing. But you get what I mean? As in some situations, you claim, okay, yeah, because I'm hearing something good about Nigerians, I'm gonna be a Nigerian. And then when you're hearing something bad about Nigeria, you're no longer a
Yeah, the whole
Nigerian.
idea of identifying, do you get what she's saying? Basically, like
Because you
when
heard, oh,
something
they're
is good,
claiming
Yeah,
Nigerians
you
are bad.
identify when it suits you. Yeah.
When it suits you, you're Nigerian. When it doesn't suit you, you pick the other side, which in this case might be Irish. Do you get what I mean?
Certainly.
So they would have gone, knowing whether they're going to pass the test or not, going, oh yeah, this is something they're trying to prove that Nigerians are cool, or we can do this job, I'm going to go for the test. And lo and behold...
Yeah, so you see, and that is where I feel like with the whole topic of, who do you identify as, I feel like sometimes we need to understand certain people. That's why, like, that kind of lady, I won't point fingers at her.
Okay, can I ask us, who do we identify as? What do we identify as?
I'm Nigerian Irish, first generation.
Yeah.
Explain, please.
I'm Nigerian Irish. Like, I was born in Nigeria, I grew up in Ireland. I feel like I'm equally both. I spend more time of my life in Ireland, but like I feel like I'm both, and I'm the first generation that is both. Do you know what I mean? That is in this state of being, so that's who I am.
So yeah, I'm Irish.
Irish.
I'm
Half and
Nigerian.
Is
half.
that not the same thing? Nigerian Irish?
half and
Yeah.
half,
Oh, so you just shortened it.
Irish, yeah.
No, I like the Irish. It sounds nice.
I like the first generation. It sounds more
Actually, I'm Nigerian Irish because I was born here, but the rest of my siblings, I wasn't born here, I was born in Nigeria, but the rest of my siblings are born here.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, they would say I'm Irish Nigerian.
That's a different.
So it's the opposite. That's what I would say. I would say I'm Nigerian Irish.
See, she's Irish.
I'm
They
Nigerian
would say
first.
they're Irish
Nigerian.
She's an Irish
that's
Nigerian
interesting.
person.
They are Irish. They would
They're
say
Irish
they're
first.
Irish Nigerian.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I do get it.
I personally would say I'm Nigerian Irish.
But that is. Can I just say something? Right?
Yeah.
That I would question that, because if you speak of Black Americans, you don't say American blacks. Say Black Americans. So the Nigerians first.
Or even African
Yeah, but they're black first. That's the thing.
Yeah,
They're African
Yeah,
first.
so they're
African
Nigerian
Irish.
African first.
So you're Nigerian.
No, African Irish. Couple
You see what
This is so much confusion.
Yeah, you see.
Oh really?
That-
I said confusion. The
that-
person was like
I'm
confusion is a
glad-
state of being.
I'm glad you mentioned that confusion. That's what I feel like really.
Yeah,
when
but
it comes to what you
they're Irish
identify
Nigerian.
with,
Yeah.
it's different for everyone.
See,
Different for
one of the
everyone.
biggest reasons I would say I'm Nigerian Irish is I'm Nigerian first. It's probably fine. I wasn't born here, and my sister. I know for a fact that my sisters and my brothers say the same thing, that they're Nigerian Irish and not Irish Nigerian, because Nigerian is in their blood. And one of the biggest things that my family, my parents made sure was necessary for even them living in Ireland and being Nigerian is that they don't forget their roots. So no matter where you were born in the world, your parents and your roots are Nigerian. So that makes you, if you want to hold on to the citizenship of a country you're born in, you're Nigerian first.
You know, based on as time goes on, it's gonna water down though. You know that.
In what sense?
Because
Your
it's
son's kids are not gonna go.
self-identification.
I'm Nigerian Irish.
It depends on how you raise your children,
No
though.
matter how you raise them, it's gonna water down. Because you need to understand, your son is no longer a first generation or a child of a first generation.
This is why I said first
It
generation.
changes.
Because as it goes, like
It changes. Like, I mean, you're talking about 4 or 5 generations. It's like when, okay, you know what's funny? Do you not find it awkward when you meet someone who's white and then they tell you, oh, my ancestors are from, and you're like, yeah, really, like we can't.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still believe, because I do know a lot of people, like the people that I'm talking about, when I say a lot of people, are that have lived in countries all over the world, and it's not necessarily that they're first generation either. These are adults now.
Yeah.
We are talking first generation because we're the first generation that are both either born or raised or whatever, but they would have been born or raised as well, and they have kids that are now born and raised in the country they are currently living in, but still identify with being African or Nigerian.
yeah, I completely agree.
So it doesn't necessarily water down because of the generation. It still depends on how you the children themselves can decide after all the raising not to identify with it or whatever, or because, okay, this is where I am, I don't want to, you're harping too much about Africa or whatever. But at the end of the day, it depends on how you are raising them to think, or what mentality you're raising them with. See the lady that is taking her children away from the African society now. Mm-hmm. If her children fully decide later on in life that they're going to bring their own children into the African society because of what they've learned. It does not necessarily mean because generation is changing, their mother pulled them out, they're never going to know what Africa means. They could easily decide later on in life that they're going to pull it back. So it doesn't get watered down just because of the generational shift. It's how you see it and how you go about it.
I totally believe it. You're right. It's based on we all have different preferences. I think that's what it is.
I fully believe that no matter where you're going, you should never lose your roots. Because look at it this way: Irish people that moved to America years ago,
and
they're all coming back to find their ancestors. They're never gonna. They don't want to. No, not all of them now, but
we never.
But they don't want to lose that Irish about them.
They're from. They'll say they're American.
From, they will tell you that they're
American. But you see,
and 2% Irish.
Like, we don't really take it as an authentic thing, innit? Like, for example, when we found out Obama has a bit of Irish in him,
we say just
everybody has.
This is the person
see what I'm saying? So that's the same thing I'm trying to say.
Yeah, but you see, Obama was not raised to believe or understand that this is your Irish background, hold on to it.
But it got watered down.
It got watered down.
But you don't know, did it get watered down because he wasn't raised that way, or it was just a generational thing?
The further away that you get from a place or a time, the more distant you are from it, literally on all aspects.
I don't dispute that at all.
So when you're in a different place, in a different space, in a different time, and the society that you're living in has changed, you will be more likened to be like the people around you in the place that you are at the time that you are. No matter how much your parents only have as much influence on you, like the majority of influence on you till you're about 7. You're going to school, you're meeting friends, you know what I mean? Yeah. So you will identify. Most people try to fit into whatever circles it is that they're in the place at the time.
I fully agree, but my point is, it's not that I'm saying that you don't identify with where you are and you have to be what you were, what your parents are or whatever. I'm saying the underlining factor of the fact that you are still your blood, your veins.
But it's self-identification.
I know that, and I'm saying my point is, I don't believe people, just because of the fact that you're talking about watering down and things are changing and all of that you should completely forget. Like we're talking Black History Month. People still remember that they're Black due to everything that's happened in the past. Why are we saying that? Why aren't Black people saying, I'm not going to remember things that happened in the past about Black history that people have fought for just because generations have changed?
Yeah, Black History Month doesn't really celebrate Africa though. It celebrates.
I'm not talking about Africa. I'm talking about in general. As in, if you're you now live in a whole white community, but you still celebrate Black History Month.
Like I was gonna say, even when we're talking about like Black history and stuff like that, even taking it back to being Nigerian and stuff, like how many Nigerians know Nigerian history? because of the distance between the time of the event. Do you know,
And
when
the
we're talking about
current time.
civil wars, when we're talking about independence, how many people can tell you who was involved in Nigeria actually getting its independence?
I'm
How
not
many
going to
people can
lie
tell
to you and say that I know, because
Exactly.
I know bits and
and
bobs.
you're here,
but
and you're here, which is fair. Like, whatever, it's fair. But like, people in Nigeria, how many of them within our age group can tell you all these things? Do you know what I mean? So the further away
It's the
that
same
you
with
go,
Ireland though, because when you think when you're in school, you learn Irish history, but once it's done, that's it. It's flown out of your head.
do you learn Nigerian history in Nigerian schools to the same detail that you learn Irish history in Irish schools?
I wouldn't know. I didn't go to Nigerian school.
You don't. Like, I can tell you that you don't.
No, to the same you do.
That's what I'm saying. The same detail. To the same detail.
Yeah, you do. To a certain amount, you do.
You're saying to a certain amount, and
Yeah.
I'm asking, is it to the same detail that you learn Irish history in Irish school, that you learn about Nigerian history in Nigerian
Yeah,
schools?
when you learn Irish history, they only show you the picture of the Book of Kells. They don't take you down
No.
our schools going
I will
up
not
to the
have you
Book.
do that. No.
You went to the Book of Kells. You've been to the Cliff of Moher.
I said Irish history. Do you hear what I'm saying to you about like the political, like everything that
the
we
1916 rising.
Yeah, we do learn that also in Nigeria. We know the when our independence, when we got, like, you learn that in school. You actually have to know all the states. You have to be able to draw the map of Nigeria, name the states and capital. Like, I mean, states and capital, that with the whole idea of River Niger, who named Nigeria. Come on, why are you trying to throw dirt on my country like that?
Who is throwing dirt on your country, Toby?
You are.
Like, your country is the same country that thought so little. Listen, your country, because it's claiming it as just his, is the same country that thought so little of its own history that it took it out of the curriculum in schools. Like, how is a country supposed to move on if the young people in the country don't know their history? How are they supposed to know where to go with their future?
See, that happened when our president was looking for his wife.
I am tired.
That whole system had to do with all those politicians coming out with their university results.
But I mean, if you don't know,
we don't want to know what's going on.
I'm not gonna disregard your. I mean, you are right to some point. Like, you know, it's not on that level. I feel the reason why I feel like it's on that level for me is because I'd say when I was in Nigeria, I learned a lot about Nigeria growing up in school. So I common entrance was pretty like Abia, Umaya, Adamaya, and those things.
But that's literally naming counties.
It's
exactly.
not just it's
like
not
Armagh,
just that.
Cavan.
It's not just
But
that.
like, what do you know about the history of it?
We also had to learn about, like, for example, Olumo Rock, like the first church.
I feel like that's more so the geography of Nigeria.
It's not the history.
No, it's not the history.
Like the man who wrote the Bible in Yoruba, you gonna say that's geography?
I don't even know what that is.
You're talking about this. We're talking about like history.
Pissing me off right now.
We're talking about the
Like,
history.
I'm not checking your Nigerianness right now. You need to stick to the Irish. I think that's why you call yourself a nine. No, take out the
You're talking about the geography. We're talking here about the history.
I'm talking about like what made the country.
Okay.
I won't lie. I know a lot more Irish history than I do Nigerian. I will tell the truth. I actually do. So maybe I need to self-reflect and think.
80% Irish, 20% Nigerian.
I think self-identification just comes from what you feel at heart.
Yeah.
That's why nobody can tell you this is what you should identify as.
And actually, when I was the first time I went to Nigeria, I felt like an outsider. I felt more Irish in Nigeria than I did here.
Okay, we're going to leave it on that note, and I'd like to ask you guys the question. What do you identify? What is your self-identification? And at the end of the day, like Aya rightly said, it's what you identify yourself as and not necessarily what somebody else says you are. This has been ConvoTime, and we'll see you next time.